99.7.
It's 1 o'clock time for the Joy Business Report. Coming up, over 500,000 persons in labor force unemployed and multidimensionally poor. We hear from the fourth quarter labor statistics report, and Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta admits concerns about cut-off dates for external debt restructuring is delaying International Monetary Fund Board meeting on Ghana. And later, Governor of Bank of Ghana optimistic new monetary policy measures on currency reserves, which commences today, will help destabilize cedi and deal with liquidity issues. Details shortly with me, Hannah Odami. We start with over 500,000 persons in the labor force being unemployed and multidimensionally poor in every quarter of 2022. That's contained in the fourth quarter labor statistics report by the Ghana Statistical Service. This ranged from an estimated 550,000 in the fourth quarter to 780,000 in the first quarter. There's more in this report.
According to the report, the unemployment rate in the fourth quarter was 11.5%, the lowest recorded across all quarters in 2022. The fourth quarter unemployment rates are higher for females compared to males and higher in urban areas compared to rural areas. The patterns are consistent with what was observed for the previous 3 quarters. The GSS also said 2 in every 3 employed persons 15 years and older in the fourth quarter were in vulnerable employment. That is self-employed without employees or contributing family workers, the highest recorded across all quarters. All regions except for Greater Accra had more than half of the employed persons in vulnerable employment. The highest rate of vulnerable employment in the fourth quarter was recorded in the Northeast, Savannah, and Northern regions.
That was a Business Desk report. The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has admitted the concerns about cut-off date for external debt restructuring is delaying the IMF board meeting on Ghana. The fund, which has been forced to reschedule its meeting to approve the second tranche cash of $600 million on 2 occasions this month, is due to China pushing for December 2020 as a new date to restructure Ghana's loans. Mr. Ofori-Atta is optimistic a deal will be reached by next week for the board meeting. He was speaking at the Ghana Capital Markets Conference.
We have completed all we need to do. The funds, all our papers have already been distributed to the various directors who will do that. And now we need to wait for the formal response from the OCC. I think they are looking at issues or the cut-off dates and its implications to each of the credits that the various countries have given. I pray that those analyses, will be done soon. Issues of comparability of treatment, so they all feel that they've been fairly impacted. But I'm confident that something will come out.
You heard the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, is optimistic the new monetary policy measures introduced by the central bank will ease current pressure on the cedi and excess liquidity concerns. The central bank today started enforcing some additional monetary policy measures. Key among them is the banks holding their reserves for foreign currencies deposits in cedis. The cash reserve ratio for cedi and foreign currency deposits have also been increased to 15%. Dr. Addison believes these measures could impact on inflation rates in the coming months.
Currently have in place a system where the banks meet their foreign currency reserve requirements in foreign currency and the foreign currency reserve requirements on the domestic cedi deposits in cedis. Before that, banks provided reserve cover for all their deposits, whether foreign or cedis in cedis. Now, when we did that, we released a lot of cedis to the system, and then the banks brought in dollars to meet the reserve requirement for foreign currency deposits. Bank
of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison. The Western Regional Minister, Dr. Kwabena Okyere-Darko, is urging all oil and gas companies in Ghana to spend not less than 70% of their corporate social responsibilities in the region. According to him, though oil and gas benefits the country as a whole, the Western region and communities in the catchment area should benefit more. He made these remarks at the 2023 Local Content Conference and Exhibition organized by the Petroleum Commission under the theme 10 years of local content in Ghana's upstream petroleum industry, achievements, challenges and prospects.
You would agree with me that the Western region, especially the communities in the catchment area, which will suffer the brunt of the skeletal adverse impact of the industry. It is therefore fair when we in the Western region demand that you should also proportionately benefit from the oil and gas resources. In this regard, I appeal to all oil and gas companies to spend not less than 70% of their corporate social responsibility budget here in the Western region.
You heard the Dr. Kwabena Okyere-Darko. He is the Western Regional Minister. The Second-Hand Clothes Dealers Association of Ghana is calling on the international community to, as a matter of urgency, intervene in moves by government to restrict the importation of some goods, including second-hand clothes. According to the association, the new law, if passed, will impact heavily on their trade with other countries, as well as push them out of business. Assistant Secretary for the association, Atobra Edward, has been speaking to journalists after addressing a news conference.
We also call on the international community to also come in the embassies where we deal with the Chinese embassy, the Canadian embassy, the British High Commission, the American embassy to come in, because it's a trade that we are all involved in. And it baffles my mind that some of the countries that started with licensing has stopped because of the shortfall. And we, the association, don't know why government is coming up with this licensing.
Let's move on. The Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management is making a strong case for a more conducive environment for employees to explore opportunities. The institute is of the view that even though the current economic challenge is affecting the working populace, workforce must be professional in their line of duty. President of the institute, Dr. Edward Kwapong, called for more collaboration from the public and private sector to boost growth. He was speaking at the 15th graduation ceremony of the institute.
May I urge you, the graduates, to go out there to practice as professionals rather than academics. Industry, while admiring excellent grammar, is more interested in the practical solution. Be proficient oral, but more professional in your practice and conduct. We expect that you will hold this certificate with pride and dignity and be a good ambassador and standard bearer of this institute wherever you find yourself.
You heard the president of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Dr. Edward Kwapong. Now, there's a looming threat to Ghana's food and nutrition security attributable to the country's fast depleting soil health. Contemporary farming practices, including inorganic fertilizer application, tillage, and the present impacts of climate change, continue to threaten biodiversity in soils, affecting soil fertility. This week on the food chain, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku interacts with experts who are advocating the uptake of primitive agricultural practices that can boost agricultural production and also restore the health of Ghana's soil.
Several research conducted by soil experts on the quality of Ghana's soil reveal nearly 40% of the country's soil is degrading. Owing to the higher demand of farm produce against the growing human population, application of inorganic fertilizer became the common practice for a bumper and quicker harvest. But experts say revolutionizing the sector through synthetic farming techniques has rather contributed to depleting soil fertility. Many farmers across the country are recording lower yields.
When you grow your crops, you get a much rain.
Judith Daite is a maize, pepper, and okra farmer in the Volta region.
For the pepper, the number 5 sack, you get like 6 or 8. But now, even if I plow 1.5 acre, I don't get up to 5. After selling all your crops, you see that the money you put inside the farming business and the money you got as the outcome there's a big difference.
The consequential impact on profits made locally is pushing farmers to export their produce.
We don't sell here again because of the money, so we export it to Togo.
Reports suggest 2023 is on track to become the hottest year since global records began 2 centuries ago. Already, the impact of the changing temperature is negatively affecting the horticultural sector. Professor Harrison Dapa is a crop scientist.
Climate change is affecting most of our horticultural crops. The mango sector, we've seen that there has been increase in the mango weevil and other pest disease on the mangoes, which has affected the export potential of the mangoes and others.
With dwindling farming production capacity threatening Ghana's food security, nutrition security is additionally becoming a major concern. Francis Appiah is head of the horticulture department at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
When you are dealing with nutrition security, it goes a little beyond food security. Food security is looking at the quantities you are taking, but nutrition security is looking broadly at intake of food for well-being. So you are not only filling your stomach, you are ensuring that your health is intact. And if we are not food secured, we are unlikely to be nutrition secured.
Experts in the horticulture sector are advocating the uptake of regenerative agriculture to mitigate climate change and restore healthy soils.
Now we should reduce the number of times that we plow. We don't need to till. We need to reduce the application of biochemical input so that we can maintain the fertility and also break the pesticide cycle.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
And Food Chain airs every Saturday at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel and a repeat on Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. You can also find it on myjoyonline.com/business. Joy Business Reports were brought to you by EcoBank Salary Account. EcoBank Salary Account is a special account designated for workers of all income brackets desirous of receiving their salaries through EcoBank. With the EcoBank Salary Account, you are guaranteed all the benefits of a normal savings or current account plus many more. This is what workers will get: free life insurance cover of up to 10,000 cedis, 24/7 access to cash and e-banking services, internet and mobile banking services, as well as high interest on savings. You'll also have no minimum balance and ability to save through the EcoBank Save As You Spend. That's a unique feature that helps customers to save and invest. Remember, the insurance policy covers death, permanent or temporary disability, critical illnesses, hospitalization, retrenchment, and more. Savings or current account holders at EcoBank do not have to close their existing account to enjoy the numerous benefits of the EcoBank Salary Account. All you have to do is ask your branch to switch your existing account to the EcoBank Salary Account. Non-EcoBank account holders should also approach any EcoBank branch and ask for the EcoBank Saving Account. Switch your salary account today and enjoy amazing benefits at EcoBank. Call EcoBank on toll-free 0800 00 3225. You can call this whenever, wherever for further details. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. And that's it for the Joy Business Reports with me, Hannah Odame.